Have you been grocery shopping lately? Have you gone to Walmart lately? Walmart is just joining the gangbang, and their prices are exorbitant. And they practice all of the things, the tricks against we the people that everybody else is doing. Small packages, less for the same, if not more. I don't shop Walmart, and I'm not going to tell you not to shop Walmart. That's up to you. We've got to knuckle down. We've got to stop buying the shit, grow our own food, indoors and outdoors. I'm going to get back into hydroponics. It's a challenge. It really is. But the thing is, repeated effort in a challenge makes it something that you succeed at. And the same with growing. I discovered two different types of beans that I want to plant that I've got to find the seeds on. And I'm going to add that to what I'm planting this weekend. I'm going to come home and do some planting. I'm pet sitting about 20 minutes away this week. They're going to Hawaii. Okay. And they planned that trip many months ago. They're smart with their money. They really are. Good people. People in my life, actually. How do we knuckle down? We buy less. We just say, fuck you, you can sit on it. And we let the store manager maybe have a piece of our mind. I'm sure he is overwhelmed with complaints. We grow our own food, like I mentioned. We eat at home from scratch. We can, which we do. We put things together, make a meal out of it. Believe me, it's not expensive. So come up with a way of not buying as much as you can.
We are looking at a strange moment in America where the stock market looks great on paper, but everyday people are quietly tapping out. Look around, families are doing everything right, getting the degrees, working the steady jobs, clocking 40+ hours a week, and they are still drowning. When filling up a minivan or buying a basic bag of groceries becomes a stressful financial decision, the math is officially broken. We aren't talking about people overspending on luxury. We are talking about normal, working-class Americans realizing that a single, steady income can no longer cover the bare essentials of survival. The baseline cost of existing has outpaced the American worker.
So everyone keeps talking about inflation like it's just things getting a little more expensive, but that's not what's really happening here. What's actually happening is the middle class is slowly losing access to things that used to be completely normal. And most people don't even realize it until it's already gone. So let me say it straight. Number one, home ownership, not renting, not getting by, actually owning something. There was a time when a steady job and some discipline could get you there. Now you've got people making decent money, getting told they don't even qualify. And then they hear, just save more, like there's anything left to save after everything else. Number two, reliable vehicles, not luxury, just, something you don't have to worry about. People aren't avoiding buying new cars because they're trying to be, financially conscious. They're avoiding them because they can't afford them anymore. So they stretch what they have and hope nothing breaks. Number three, vacation. So you remember when taking time off wasn't a major financial decision? Well, now families are sitting there thinking, do we take a week away or do we stay afloat this month? And that's not poor planning, that's pressure. Number four, childcare. People are paying what feels like a second mortgage just to be able to go to work, which makes no fucking sense if you actually step back and think about it. Number five, retirement. This is the one nobody wants to say out loud because deep down, people already know it. A lot of people are not retiring anymore. They're just working longer. Not because they want to, but because life didn't give them the same runway. And number six, financial breathing room. Like that feeling that if something goes wrong, you'll be okay. Because right now, for a lot of people, that margin is gone, completely gone. And they're one bad week away from real stress. And number 7, and this is the big one, the ability to rely on a single income, one job, one path, one system. That used to be enough, and it's just not anymore. And this is where people start arguing. People are irresponsible. People need discipline. And yeah, look, for some people, that applies. But, if you think that explains all of this, you're missing what's actually happening, because there are people out here doing everything right and still falling behind. So at some point, the conversation has to evolve, away from blame towards reality, because it doesn't matter how you got here. It matters, what you do next. And waiting for things to get easier is not a plan. Hoping costs go down is not a strategy. And, relying on one income like it's still 20 years ago isn't going to work anymore. So the real question becomes, what are you going to build on top of what you already have? Not necessarily another job that burns you out, but something that gives you options, something that grows over time, something that, puts you back in the driver's seat. And no, it doesn't start big, but it does start. And, if you're starting to see that one path isn't enough anymore, there's a free mini course in my bio that walks you through how people are actually building something on the side, step by step. No hype, just a starting point. Because this isn't about panic, it's about adapting. And the people who figure out, are the people who figure that out are the ones who really give themselves a shot at getting ahead again.
I just spent $40 at Costco. I got a half a tank of gas. Yeah, we're in a much better place than we were a few years ago, for sure. You can tell by the way people are driving out there. Nobody's stressed out at all.
Just got back. Swear. Ready? For $20. 1 strawberry. 2 strawberries. Nutella. No thanks, Nance. All perfect. And we're winning so much. Check this out. You see this? Cash rounding. That means because we're not making pennies anymore, they rounded up. So I actually ended up paying 2 cents more than I normally would because I paid with cash and I didn't have exact change.
Okay, I don't even know what to think at this point. I just got gas 2 days ago. I stopped to get it just now. I paid $4.17 2 days ago, and now it is $4.39. And I don't know how much Americans can sustain this increase every single day. I'm going to give you an example. I just went to the grocery store and I bought this one little pair. Guess how much I paid for this pair? $2.49. And you know what's crazy in Virginia Beach? Not only is, a pair $2.49. Look at the taxes. Because I bought rotisserie chicken for my dog, that's considered a prepared food. They charge us 13% tax. So 6% plus 6% plus 1%. I love how they break it down to make it not look so bad. At what point do you stop voting for politicians? You got to ask yourself that. Unbelievable.
I'm having an issue with how expensive things are getting. I went to Target to run errands before my trip, spent $100, and I'll show you guys what I got. Loops face mask, Medicube face mask, Sungboon face mask, 3 face masks, tanning lotion, keratin. This was a little pricey. Not really. It was like $25, but I still find that crazy for tanning lotion. Tylenol PM to knock me out of my flight. And last but not least, a mini setting spray. How much was all of that? $100. I used to enjoy going to Target. I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to Target and shop. Now I'm like, why am I spending an arm and a leg for 5 things? I dread going now.
I just spent $70 filling up my minivan and I feel robbed. Okay, that is a criminal act. $70. I own a minivan and it cost me $70 to fill it up. That is all.
I'm in here in Walmart and I cannot believe how much underwear are. 17, 18, 17 bucks. Are wearing underwear optional anymore? My gosh, this is expensive.
There's a huge shift in America that's happened, and Memorial Day just showed us that proof. We all know what usually happens on Memorial Day weekend. It's a big party. I mean, you see picture after picture. People are having huge barbecues and just wilding out over Memorial Day weekend. How many DUIs do they normally give out over this weekend? I'll tell you what I saw this morning. I'm looking on my news feed and I saw a total of 0 videos, 0 pictures of barbecues. Nothing. And when I think about the people in my life, I know a total of 0 people who had a big barbecue. Very, very, very low-key Memorial Day weekend. Why? Okay, well, when I came home last night, I was on TikTok. I watched so many crash out videos, and what I mean by crash out is people crashing out about finances. The stock market in the United States is doing fantastic, but your average everyday American feels like they're drowning in debt and they can't afford anything. I have seen some statistics recently that say even people are even buying less groceries. Everybody is drowning and they feel like they can't make it in our economy right now. And for the people who get on here and go, oh, see, that's Trump's fault. No, no, no. This has been coming for quite some time. When you have an economy that's crashing because of economics, it didn't happen in a 1-year period. This is something that's gone on for quite a few years. And it's just been a rolling effect. And now here we are. And Memorial Day really showed me that. People aren't having the big barbecues because people are struggling financially. I don't think it's because people don't want to get together and have the big wild and out party. I think it's because people can't afford the wild and out party. What a curious Memorial Day we just had.
So I just feel like with the price of everything right now, especially the rent prices, I was just looking at this post of a guy who was paying $900. No, I think he was paying like $800 or $900 for a 1-bedroom in 2019. And that same 1-bedroom apartment is now $1,700. And I just think that's ridiculous. And I'm trying to figure out what is the end goal here, especially with AI. What is the end goal? Are things just going to keep increasing until people cannot afford anything? Is it going to be time for some sort of uprising, some sort of fight against this? I don't know. Just interesting.
It's hard to explain this to a parent, but like I just got a FaceTime with my dad and I was trying to express to him that like I'm happy and healthy and very blessed, but that doesn't mean I'm not extremely worried and confused about what the future holds. And I feel like these are obviously normal like growing pains, but mine aren't growing pains because of like things I'm going through. Mine are growing pains because of the literal circumstances of the society that we live in. And it just feels like, what are we working towards a lot of the times, or pretty much all the time these days, with like AI and, you know, the dating situation where like there are no men out there for any women. So like families are not going to be like, I don't know, I won't get into all that, but like, it just feels like nothing right now. Like the way that our parents grew up and they had this like, you know, future planned for them as long as they took those steps. Like obviously we just don't have that anymore. And I don't know, sometimes I get off FaceTime and I was like, should I have held back a little? Should I have just said, oh, I'm good? I don't know. It's hard to explain this to a parent, but like I just got off FaceTime with my dad and I was trying to express to him that like I'm happy and healthy and very blessed, but that doesn't mean I'm not extremely worried and confused about what the future holds. And I feel like these are obviously normal like growing pains, but mine aren't growing pains because of like things I'm going through. Mine are growing pains because of the literal circumstances of the society that we live in. And it just feels like, what are we working towards a lot of the times, or pretty much all the time these days, with like AI and, you know, the dating situation where like there are no men out there for any women. So like families are not going to be like, I don't know, I won't get into all that, but like, it just feels like nothing right now. Like the way that our parents grew up and they had this like, you know, future planned for them as long as they took those steps. Like obviously we just don't have that anymore. And I don't know, sometimes I get off FaceTime and I was like, should I have held back a little? Should I have just said, oh, I'm good? I don't know.
How are you making it on one income? I am a 45-year-old mom who got the degree, got the job, got the steady paycheck. My husband finally, for the first time in all of our years of marriage, has a steady job, a steady paycheck, but we still weren't making ends meet. How are you doing it? How are you doing it without a side hustle? Because I legit want to know. Gas, groceries, insurance, utilities. Everything is up. How are you doing it and doing anything extra without bringing in an extra income? Unless you have some six-figure high-paying job. As a normal family, how are you making ends meet? Tell me, how are you making it on one income? I am a 45-year-old mom who got the degree, got the job, got the steady paycheck. My husband finally, for the first time in all of our years of marriage, has a steady job, a steady paycheck, but we still weren't making ends meet. How are you doing it? How are you doing it without a side hustle? Because I legit want to know. Gas, groceries, insurance, utilities, everything is up. How are you doing it and doing anything extra without bringing in an extra income? Unless you have some six-figure high-paying job. As a normal family, how are you making ends meet?
Can somebody please help me understand? How in the world did we get to where we are right now? I spent in 3 days a total of $200 in fuel. $200. That is just insane. It's insane. I mean, I'm basically working to pay for fuel and bills. That is it. I mean, if I don't put fuel, I can't get to work. And if I don't work, I don't have money. But, I mean, who in the world is going to be able to afford? I mean, honestly, we're not living. We are not living right now. We are surviving. I mean, we are in survival mode right now with the way everything is. I mean, that's $200 that I had to take away from maybe groceries, or I don't know. It's insane. I mean, somebody please help me understand. How did we get to this? It's just crazy. It's crazy.
What these stories show us is that inflation isn't just making things a little more expensive, it is actively dismantling the American dream. When a low-key Memorial Day weekend becomes the norm because nobody can afford a simple backyard barbecue, something fundamental has shifted. People are being forced into survival mode, cutting back on food, skipping trips, and stretching every single dollar just to stay in the same place. It is exhausting, and it is a heavy psychological burden to carry. The real human cost here isn't just the extra $2 on a pair of $40 at a big box store. It is the total loss of financial breathing room and the constant nagging anxiety about what comes next. How is your household navigating these rising costs right now? Are you having to make hard compromises on basic things like gas or groceries just to stay afloat? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.